Jimmy Frederick is joining us. He's one of the new owners of Dairy King. That is an establishment in the heart of Beulah. It has been around since 1950 and actually closed recently. But from my earliest memories growing up in Benzie County, when you thought of summer, I thought of the Dairy King. This is something that I have memories of when I was a little kid, and maybe after I remember being in T-ball, and you would go play a game at the ball fields, and you would go over to the Dairy King, whether you won or you lost. Everybody got an ice cream cone.
It's a victory lap or a consolation prize.
Exactly.
Either way.
You got the soft serve, the ice cream cone. I remember working at the Cherry Hut, because I think that's kind of a rite of passage for anybody who grows up in Benzie County. And I had the uniform has not changed in like 70 years or something. And I was on a split shift at the Cherry Hut, and I would walk over and I would grab an ice cream cone, and I would just kind of sit there on the picnic tables and hang out, read a book, because the Dairy King was really a part of this small town. This was the ice cream place, and it was mini golf, and there was a train at one point, and lots of really cool things happening. And so to see it revitalized with young people who have moved home. They graduated, at least Jimmy Frederick, who is our guest in studio here, graduated about 10 years ago from Benzie Central High School, and he's back. And you are running the Dairy King along with your brother, John. Welcome to the show today.
Thanks for having me.
So ice cream, how do you say no to that business opportunity?
You really can't. It's been awesome there. The ice cream business is awesome. Everybody that comes is, 99% of them, they're all happy to get ice cream. So it's nothing but smiles and laughter all day. Can't beat that.
And you decided that you were looking at business opportunities, if I'm correct here. But you weren't necessarily thinking you were going to go home, and live in Benzie County again. But you and your brother were thinking, well, let's think about restaurants. Let's think about the different things we can do. How did this opportunity with Dairy King, which you have memories of Dairy King, anybody in Benzie County has memories of Dairy King.
Yeah.
How did you land that?
Well, I don't know. Me and my brother, we'd been talking for a while, and, we did nightly chats and always got talking about, like, what kind of business ventures we could get into. Mm-hmm. And I was always really interested in food trucks, and he said, why stop there? Let's get a restaurant. And we kind of went back and forth like that for a couple months, and then out of nowhere, his wife, Danielle, is just cruising the internet looking for properties in Benzie County, and there's the Dairy King, and all of us remember that from our childhood.
Yeah.
And we really jumped on it, and everything went really quick, and I ended up moving back to Benzie from Midland, and then we owned it.
Yeah. And it went really quickly. Let's talk about how quickly that happened, because, there's a couple of risks when it comes to purchasing. First of all, the building was built in like 1945. So you're talking about a pretty old building. You're talking about a business that relies pretty much on about 6 months out of the year for business. Not a lot of people go into the Dairy King or looking for that in December.
Yeah.
So what were some of the decisions that you had to make, and what did you decide to do as far as like, okay, this is going to have to be something that sustains two families, and we're going to have to do that seasonally?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the deciding factor was, we knew going into it that possibly we're only going to be open during the summer, mm-hmm. and you got to make the most of those summer months. So we put a lot into marketing, a lot into getting our name out there, and trying to let everybody know it's still the same old Dairy King, mm-hmm. but we're trying to, head the ship in the right direction and trying to get better every day with everything we do.
Now, when you moved from Midland, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the next weekend you opened?
Oh, yeah. Well,
how did that work?
I think I put about two to 3 weeks in of work on the outside of the building. Mm-hmm. I repainted everything, refinished picnic tables, cleaned up the inside, got rid of all the equipment that didn't work, and we opened very shortly. May 4th, I believe, was our first day.
Wow, Star Wars Day.
Yep. And, so I missed the movie, but well, Yeah, and I moved up there on April 10th. So between April 10th and May 4th, I put in work to the outside of the building and opened May 4th. May 3rd was the first day I fired up my ice cream machine, and I'd never made a soft serve cone till the night before I opened the Dairy Queen.
Okay, so you get your brand new ice cream soft serve machine, and it is more complicated than just putting the cone underneath it.
Yeah,
There's an art to it.
Yeah.
So how did the first couple of cones, how did that go for you?
I mean, they went all right. It was really trial by fire those first couple days, and I didn't have any other employees, so I was working it by myself.
Wow.
From 11 to 9, 7 days a week. You come down there and you find me at the Dairy King, and
That's where you are.
Yep, I'd fix you up frozen dessert.
And so, for those first, people who anybody who's ever owned a business, the business owns you for the first couple of years.
Okay.
Are you still 7 days a week? Do you have a staff now?
Yeah, we got seven kids from Benzie Central, and they're all great kids, and we got a great staff now, and I'm still 7 days a week, but I'm not working 12 hours a day anymore, so that's nice.
How does it feel? You're 10 years out of high school, and now you own this business that is, this is kind of a heritage establishment for Benzie County. So you have that there. The logo is really kind of reminiscent of, it's the same colors as Benzie Central High School, red and white. It feels sort of 1950s in style. Which is the same with the business. And now you are managing kids like you were 10 years ago. How does that feel?
It hasn't been bad. Like I said, all the kids we got, they're great.
Yeah.
And so that's been awesome. And being in touch with Benzie Central Schools, they helped us out and got us referrals. And
I think the younger generations, which you're a part of the millennial generation, but even the generation that you're probably managing right now, get a bad reputation. Was it hard for you to find high school kids that wanted to work?
Not necessarily. Like I said, the connections we still have at Benzie Central Schools, they helped us out immensely. And we have seven kids right now, and they're all doing great. And I couldn't ask for better workers, and
One thing that I think is so interesting about the ice cream business is that it hasn't changed. I was telling the story about going and playing a t-ball game, and I'm in Benzonia, and it doesn't matter if you win or you lose. Your team or your parents or somebody's going to take you to get ice cream, and they took you to the Dairy King, and the line would be around the building. It would be out, long line, but it would be worth it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the same. Does that feel like, did you realize when you're purchasing this property and an ice cream business that you're actually buying someone's memories and a little bit of nostalgia?
Yeah, and we love that. It's been open since 1950, and just being there every day, I get to hear generations and generations of people talking about the Dairy King and how they remember it and the different stages it went through to get to the point it is now, I've talked to the Pattersons a little bit, and they owned it for years, right? Oh, yeah, and that's back, a lot of people remember it back then. That was the heyday, It had the train going around, the big mini golf course, and that was the spot to be.
Do you have any plans, when we talk about those things, do you have plans to maybe bring some of those things back, maybe get a train back?
Between me, my brother, and Danielle, we're big dreamers, so we got big plans coming, but our minds change every day, so we're feeling out what we want to do with it, but that's been a fun process too, getting to throw ideas at each other and kind of bouncing them around, and sometimes they're good ideas and we run with them. Sometimes we got to try and ground each other and be like, maybe we don't do that yet.
When you think about the future, obviously you have a plan for the Dairy King, and some of it is, big dreams, and some of it is just trying to make ends meet day to day with the ice cream business. Any idea that maybe you guys are going to start something that's a little more year round? It's obvious that you have some business savvy. Any plans for that, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, that's been one of the main things we're talking about now that we're getting to the I wouldn't say the middle of summer yet, but yeah, almost there.
Don't say that yet.
Yeah, we want summer to last as long as we can, but we've definitely been talking about, first step in that is getting that building insulated.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was up here in April when we got that last big snowfall, and I was in there cleaning out the Dairy King with 18 inches of snow outside the building and a little space heater. So, but yeah, so the first step would be insulating that. And yeah, we talked about possibly stepping into some other stuff, you know, to keep us around year round. And
that's great.
Yeah.
So the business, of course, is the Dairy King. Whether you grew up in Benzie County or not, you have your own memories of these ice cream places that you went to when you were a kid, that you maybe take your own kids to. I would say if you're driving through Benzie County at all, it's in Beulah. You can't miss it. It's right on I call it the Strip in Beulah.
Yeah.
On the main drag, you'll see the Dairy King. Stop in and check it out. You sell these T-shirts as well, which these T-shirts are fantastic.
Yeah, and we got a lot of good stuff going on down there. We just started making all our homemade waffle cones, so we're not buying those from everybody else.
Okay.
Homemade whipped cream on every Sunday.
Wow.
Trying to put a cherry on everything in northern Michigan. And,
Everything's got a cherry.
Yep. Yeah, doing ice cream cakes and all kinds of stuff.
I'm not aware of anyone else that makes homemade whipped cream, for example.
Or or even the waffle cones. I didn't know about
I
that.
don't think so.
We're trying to take it all the way back to 1950 when it was done right.
I love that. So 1950, grab yourself a T-shirt, grab yourself a waffle cone and some ice cream in it with some homemade whipped cream on top with the cherry. I love that. And just, I think it's one of those things that's worth the drive, whether you're all the way up in the Petoskey area, you're in Traverse City, or you're further south in the Cadillac area. Check it out, Dairy King. A couple of young people who are trying to get things back to when things were done right. I love that story.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. And you can find out everything that's going on in the Dairy King by finding them on Facebook. Jimmy, you do a great job with social media. You are doing videos every day, and you're really speaking from your heart when it comes to this business. So good luck and congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Of course. Talking ice cream, you got to do vanilla ice.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it.